What's up, everybody? Hope you're loving these vlogs. Feel free to challenge me on any of this stuff. This is all my opinions. This is all my thoughts, things that I've learned. May or may not be right for you, but it's what I've learned, and I'm sharing it with you. So today, I want to share two things that you're gonna hear over and over again that you have to be okay with if you want to be into the music business. And if you're not okay with these two things, then music business probably is not for you. And the first thing is that it might not work. See, I have to realize that every day I wake up, most days I'm coming in and writing songs, and me as a pro songwriter, the reality is that it might not work. Any given day is essentially me coming in for free in the hopes that we write a great song that obviously pays off, that gets cut, that ultimately sells a lot of records, and is able to feed my family. That's always the hope. But in the back of my mind, I got to realize that, you know what, on any given day, what I'm doing today might not work. It might not work tomorrow. What's worked yesterday might not work again today. And ultimately, in the very beginning of your career, you've got to realize that even from a top-down view, even if you do all the right things, put in the time, and write the best songs that you can, do all the right things that you can, do the things that we talk about at Full Circle Music all the time, work with the best producers, get signed to a label, it still might not work. And that's the reality that all of us as music makers every day have to face. We got to know that we are doing this out of passion, and that nobody is going to tell us when it's our turn. Nobody's going to give us permission. We're not waiting for anybody to give us permission, and we are doing this just because we love it. Now, if that's not you, this business is probably not for you, and it's probably safer to go get a 9-to-5 job working for a company where it doesn't matter if it works or not, you get a paycheck. But if you're like me, then that thing just does not appeal to you, and that's why we do what we do. So that's the first thing you've got to be okay with hearing over and over again. Even if nobody tells it to you, the world and the career will tell you one way or another. There's going to be a lot more. That's another good point. There's going to be probably more stuff that you do that does not work than does work. And even in my position of doing this successfully, making a really good living at it, winning these awards, there's still a higher percentage of stuff that I do that doesn't work than works. And yet people still call me, they still hire me because they know my track record, and my average, my batting average, is still one of the highest in the entire industry. So, but I've still got to be okay with knowing that. And the other thing, the first thing is that it might not work. The second thing that you've got to be okay with is that it might take a lot longer than you think. I referenced this episode from the Full Circle Music Show a lot of the times. Barry Grohl said you moved to Nashville, stay 7 years, and even then it may take longer than that. I know people that didn't hit their prime until they were in their mid-30s or in their early 40s, and that's okay. It's really, there's not a right or wrong path. I was fortunate to have walked into a pretty awesome situation producing a Newsboys record when I was young, but I never say that that's how you get in, and it also doesn't count the 10,000 hours I had put in before that too. See, everybody always thinks you made it overnight, even though they don't realize the 10,000 hours that you put in before that led up to that. So you got to know, and you got to be okay with just weathering it out, riding through the hard seasons, and again, just living off of passion, not necessarily living off of seeing a result immediately. Because if you're very instant gratification, result oriented, music business probably is not for you. It's a long game. It's about sowing one little seed at a time, and eventually some of them bloom into huge projects that we would just have no idea. Because a lot of the time the things that we think are going to work, or the things that we think will work in a certain amount of time, go a complete opposite direction. So you've got to be okay with the phrase that it might not work and it might take longer than you think.